Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alright, it's been a freaking minute since I've been on here. 11 months, not that anyone cares. I have no viewers. But I wanted to talk about the state that I've been in, I guess, these days. And something I've been reflecting upon. Because it doesn't mean anything to anyone else, but alhamdulillah, it's been 11 months since I've been a Muslim. And around this time a year ago, I was going on the path that would lead me to Islam. And in the process of that, though, looking back on this time, I see a lot of the seeds and issues that I would struggle with as a Muslim, like a lot of this year and a lot of the time period, it would begin then. And a lot of things were starting then, but I didn't see them. And it's not to say that we should be more careful. That's not really the point of this. I wanted to talk about our responses to them. When these issues do jump out at us and we get those whispers from shaitan, and suddenly everything that didn't matter does. Because I feel like, at least for me, I don't know if it's something that we've all dealt with or we do as humans, but when I would be confronted with trials and situations that weren't the best for me, oftentimes it would seem like things that didn't exist, like things that I thought I'd completely moved on from, suddenly were there. Like suddenly they jump out at you. Suddenly it's 18 different things that you never struggled with at all for like the last 9 months. Suddenly it's right there. And it's like you're back at day one. And I feel like it's because oftentimes my response to situations was simply to forget about them and move on from them. So like when I would be faced with a trial or a situation, I would think to myself, I just need to get away from this. I just need time away from this to understand it and grasp it. Which isn't exactly wrong, because for me, I felt if I tried to think about a situation during it, like during the trial, like whenever a situation comes to me, I'm going to think the most horrible freaking things, because I do not take losses well. I just really don't. I couldn't, at least. I don't know how I am now. But I would completely just feel horrible, and I would be in such a horrible state. And it just wouldn't have been best to think then, because I can't, there's too much emotion for me to form a logical conclusion on what's going on and make the best approach. So oftentimes, I would tend to, I guess, distract myself from it and replace it with better habits or things like that, which aren't necessarily bad either. But the issue is still there at the end of the day. And that's what I found. It's that these things never truly went away. And of course, I developed as a person, I grew past them, I still understood what happened and what I could have done wrong, what I could have done better, and everything. I understand the situation, but that doesn't change the hole that was there. I filled it up with something else and I moved on from it. And when that thing left, that gaping hole that I thought had disappeared was sitting right in the exact same spot. And I realized it's because in response to trials, in response to challenges, what I'm doing is we're moving on from things, but we're leaving them there. Like these aren't things that we got past exactly, we just sidestepped them. It's still right behind us. So we fall onto our backs, we fall into the things that previously we thought we were over. So oftentimes, like with music for me, for example, I think I talked about it in my last video, but I don't remember, it's been almost a year. But I was a musician before I was a Muslim, and that was the biggest thing for me by far, I think. I'm not too sure, honestly. So much has happened since then. But that was probably the biggest issue for me. Actually, it might have been. It probably is. I just don't really care that much now. But my dream and my passion was music. And as a Muslim, that's haram. So I know there's a difference of opinion for some people, but it's haram. Okay, fight me, I guess. I don't know. This is besides the freaking point. Okay, so music is haram. And I was a musician. I had like a bunch of instruments, and that was my entire livelihood. That was everything I had been endeavoring towards for the last 2 years before I was a Muslim. So obviously that was a big issue for me. And of course, I stopped listening completely after I came to the conclusion on the ruling. But I thought I could manage it. I thought that, but I could do both in a sense. Like, if my heart was always with Allah and what I had found that truly did matter to me, I could also do what previously mattered to me. But the thing is, what really mattered to me, I guess, in my heart was not compatible with what previously did. So it became this long struggle for a minute, but eventually, alhamdulillah, I got past it. I have new passions and stuff like that. But what previously bothered me wasn't really gone. So I stopped listening to music, I completely moved away from it, and it wasn't something I dealt with at all or struggled with anymore. I didn't want to listen to music, and if I ever considered it, I understood at this point because of everything that I'd previously gone through that what was, what I could have been is not something that's compatible with who I am. So it wasn't something that I could consider, even if I wanted to. But I'd find whenever I heard a song like on the radio or something that I really cared, like I really liked, or I listened to old music, or if I accidentally, I haven't listened to music, alhamdulillah, but like if I accidentally came upon something that I used to really enjoy and listen to, I would be filled with the most horrible pain in my heart, and it would just break my spirit, cause I would never be able to have that again, and I realized that love for music that I had, that love and yearning for it and passion for it and what I could be never went away at all. And I realize now maybe that's something that I'm not going to get past. And this is just who I am. And this is something I'm going to have to live with. And that's difficult. And I think oftentimes I think we think as people that we can fix things and we can just solve them. But some things, I think bro, we just have to accept that that's who I am. That is what I enjoy, and that is what I want. And I don't know if it was just me that was doing it, but it took me a very long time to get there. And even not just that, but in general, we have to accept that some things just are the case, and there's nothing that we can do about them. Because I've been finding a lot that nothing's really changing in a sense. And even when I would move beyond these things, they're who I am, you know? They're who I am. But I wasn't accepting or moving with the intention or understanding that this is who I am. So I would think that this is something that's completely away from me. This is something that I'm never going near again. This is something that I'll never be again. But it's still who I am, you know? You can accept all of that and still acknowledge who you are, you know? I feel like oftentimes you have to have a hatred, I guess, or rejection for what we are, because what we were, like our past sins or things like that, are things that are completely impermissible, or things that we just shouldn't. Places we were in dark places, you know, like a lot of times we associate these things with, like, a bad time for us, like a period of low iman, and when we were away from Allah. But I feel like I don't know. I'm trying to find the right conclusion. 'Cause I feel like I wasn't really wrong, I guess, because what I believe is, you know, we aren't. It was just this is Kanye line. You aren't perfect, but you're not your mistakes. So I've always understood that. I've been able to forgive myself for past mistakes and decisions, but that doesn't mean that we may not be our past mistakes, and we can always be better than them. But that doesn't mean that these things still aren't part of what make us who we are. And doesn't mean these aren't things that we should distance ourselves from entirely. I think we shouldn't let our mistakes define us as people, but we should also not try to completely absolve our mistakes and dissolve them into dust. And those things don't influence who we are today as people, you know? And with that understanding, I think moving forward, we should remember, never, acknowledge where you're going, acknowledge what you want to be, and keep striving towards that. And inshallah, if it's what's best for you, Allah will grant it. But also, don't forget what you were, and don't forget where you came from, because it's still there. So when you do fall down, and when inevitably you're tested again, and when trials come in your life, you don't fall straight back into where you were, and you can understand and be better than that, because I feel like we're solving our problems halfway. I'm saying we. I don't know if it's we, but I'm solving my problems halfway. And inshallah, I feel like we should start to begin to be good on purpose. And what I mean by that, I guess this is more so for normal people. I feel like I see a lot of people that do like a lot of self-improvement, and like they're consistently doing a lot of great things. I'm more so someone that has good habits and stuff like that, but I'm not. I don't think I'm very inspiring, to be quite honest. I think I have my own goals and what I want to do and be, but I'm not. I have periods of clarity. I guess I don't know how to describe it. I feel like I'm a very normal person, but what I mean is, I guess for people, I guess that are normal and that have periods of greatness and periods of normalcy. Um, that I feel like if we could start to be good on purpose, and rather than our habits and hobbies or passions just happening to lead us to be better as people, we should where understanding how our flaws make us who we are and how to better move forward with that knowledge, I guess. Like, I think that's really it. Yeah. I feel like if we can have purpose in what we do and tend to move with knowledge, I guess, moving with knowledge of what matters and where we're going, but not forgetting what was, we can do a lot better. So yeah, I think that's everything I wanted to talk about. I hope I got it all across well. I feel like I'm really yapping. I don't really talk like this, but may Allah put barakah upon this and all of our times in this dunya, and let's all do great things. I mean, so yeah, that's all I wanted to say, and yeah, hope the best comes for everyone, inshallah. See you.